Gable back here. Back in the corner. How's it going? The day is finally here. It's your first UFC fight week. We're here. Massive one, International Fight Week. What is this like for you?
This is a fantastic experience. You know, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited what's going to come Saturday. And I'm so excited for the future with the UFC. You know, like I said, I'm just so honored.
What was your reaction to Elisha Ellison being the opponent? I'm sure it didn't matter, but now that you know the name and your team has gotten a chance to study him and pick up some of his tactics heading into this fight, do you feel like this is the perfect opponent for your debut?
This is a great opponent. You know, I treat everybody the same, whether they're the best in the world or they're Elisha Ellison. You know, it doesn't matter to me. I go out there and have the same mindset, and I want to dominate.
You are one of the biggest favorites in UFC history heading into this fight. I think the last time I looked, you were minus 2,800, which is just such an astronomical number. Do you even look at that stuff? And even if you don't, like, what does that mean to you when you hear that? Like, when you hear that number, how do you react to it?
It doesn't matter to me. You know, I come to show up and do the best thing that I possibly ever do, and that's win. And that's all that matters to me.
When it comes down to it, what is the dream scenario on Saturday? Obviously, you getting your hand raised in front of 20,000 people is one thing, but I'm sure there's part of the performance, and you're thinking about the aftermath and having John there. Like, what's the ideal night for you on Saturday?
The ideal night is to be Showtime, to be Gable Steveson. If I be Gable Steveson and I'll be Showtime, then it's going to be a great performance on Saturday night, and I walk out that cage with my hand raised in a dominating fashion, and vicious fashion too.
A lot of people are already trying to fantasy matchmake for you. A lot of people are saying at some point Gable should fight Josh Hokit. There are other people saying that at some point, like if you were to go in there and fight Cyril Gane right now, like people are giving you a chance to win that fight. Like, does that put extra pressure on you? And are you eyeballing these matchups right now? Are you looking at the Hokits? Are you looking at the Cyril Ganes right now?
Of course I'm eyeballing them, but my first task is to go out there Saturday night and put on a great performance and let everybody in this room know that I'm here.
Last thing I want to ask you about, we're putting the analyst hat on for your first UFC fight. Obviously, the closing bout is Conor McGregor's comeback against Max Holloway. What is the official Gable Steveson prediction for the main event?
I grew up watching Conor McGregor. You know, what an honor it is to be on the same card as him. He's an OG. He's a legend. So is Max Holloway. As much as I'd love to say Conor, I got to go with Max on this one.
Gable, do you feel like being your debut is on a Conor McGregor card, you are being baptized by fire, and actually this is the perfect way to come in? If you're the prospect everyone says, you can come in, have the big card right off the bat and just get used to it at the highest level?
This will be the show that I want it to be, and it'll be the Gable Steveson show. When I walk out there, I hope everyone wants to tune in and wants to see a vicious victory and a dominating performance for me. And it doesn't matter that I'm getting thrown into the fire on the Conor McGregor card. I've been in big performances my whole life, and this is just another day for me.
You've used the word vicious quite a lot in your time on that stage. Is that what you're planning here? You want to come out, make a statement right off the bat and hurt this guy in a vicious fashion? Is that the goal?
It has to be. We're fighting. Why would it be nice? It has to be vicious. It has to be that malicious intent that it needs to be. And if it's that dangerous that nobody wants to watch, then it just has to be like that. Be that way.
What is the goal here for you, right? So people, Mike said, people wanted to fancy match up this debut for you. Is this the right sort of opponent for you to come in on? Like, okay, I can show what I can do against a lower level guy. Or do you feel like they could have thrown a Derek Lewis your way or someone like that? Do you feel like this is the perfect debut opponent for you, or would you have rather a bigger name?
This is a perfect debut opponent to me. And, you know, all respects to Elisha for taking this matchup. You know, I come out there, like I said, treat everybody the same, whether Derek Lewis, Josh Hokit, Tom Aspinall, or Cyril Gane. But my matchup Saturday is what I'm looking forward to, and that's all.
What's the relationship with Josh Hokit? I think there's a bit of confusion. Is he at your gym? Is he in Albuquerque? Is there any relationship between you and Josh?
Oh, Josh Hokit does what Josh Hokit does, and what he's doing is great for him.
No, what do you think of the character work?
The character work is working for him. I mean, I applaud to him for making it work, and if people like it, people like it. If people don't, then who cares?
Okay, well, we've seen you in the WWE on the Buffalo Bills roster. Even was there any part of you at one point that said, you know, this move may have to take, you know, a back seat, or was this always a plan to kind of dip your feet in everything and make this the priority later on?
This was always a plan. You know, I should have probably started with this plan at first, but things happen. You know, you end up in certain spots, and like I mentioned before, you get some hiccups, and you got to work your way out of them. But I'm so glad to be here now. I'm so happy to be here now, and it's a great opportunity for me Saturday to go out there and win.
Yeah, and this division often gets, you know, criticized by people from the outside. So what do you think you bring to the table that, you know, people will change their outlook on?
Just a new face, you know, new speed, new power, new technique, a new person at heavyweight that can be a great winner and a great achiever, and that's what I plan on being.
Hey, Gable, what's one thing that surprised you in your couple of MMA fights that you've had so far?
What surprised me is, you know, just guys come out there and win. You got to take their will. The most surprising thing about that is, you know, it just has to happen to them in any certain way. You know, they want to win, they want to feed their families, but I got some people to feed too, and they need to be fed.
I know your coaches are pretty high profile now, but going back to Apple Valley High School all the way through Coach Eggum at the U of M,
Yeah.
can you talk a little bit about how they've helped you through the journey and just kind of reflecting on everything through the Olympics leading up to this moment right here in Vegas?
Yeah, I started out at Apple Valley, a 5-time state finalist, a 4-time state champion, now a 2-time national champion at Minnesota, 2-time Dan Hodge Trophy winner. For anyone that doesn't know who that is and does not recognize about wrestling, the Dan Hodge Trophy winner is like the Heisman Trophy of football. I won that twice, and no other heavyweight has ever done that in the history books, and maybe might not ever do it ever again. But just an honor to be a part of so many great people. I got a lot of great people with me here. It's just it's so cool to have the opportunity.
Thanks.
Gable, right here. Something you mentioned earlier about Josh Hokit. Have you two ever trained together, or have you never worked together at Jackson Wing?
We've been in the same room many times. Josh is doing a fantastic job at what Josh does, and good for him.
Is that tough at all, though, just because you guys might face each other at some point? You're in the same division. Is that a conversation you've had with your coaches?
No, I mean, it's not tough for me to go against Josh Hokit. I honestly heard that Josh Hokit was going to go down to 205 from someone. So if he goes down, that'll be a great decision for him in the long run.
Who did you get to work with as far as bodies in the gym for this camp?
Many great people.
Yeah, a good mix, though, I imagine, prospects and some veterans as well.
Mainly veterans. A lot of guys have been in the game for a long time. My team is surrounded by great influences and great guys that have been in the sport for 20-plus years, and so I'm honored to be with them.
How much input does John have with the camp? Because obviously you want to rely on him, I'm sure, just with his experience and what he's achieved in the sport. How much is he playing a hand in what you do with, your fight camps and everything?
John has a major influence on our camp, but Greg Jackson, Brandon Gibson, and John Jones have the same voice in this.
Yeah, that makes sense. And just last one for me. You look at the heavyweight division right now. You're probably one of the youngest fighters on the roster. Do you see the potential of moving up here pretty quickly, just because heavyweight does look pretty wide open?
Yeah, it is a pretty wide open division, but I'm focused on Saturday. I'm focused on one day at a time. I know what's going to come Saturday. I know what's going to happen after, and I'll be ready for that moment.
Thank you.
Gable over here. You represent the heavyweight division. Now, we could have an undisputed title fight between Cyril Gane and Tom Aspinall. Stylistically, how do you see that fight going?
Cyril Gane will win.
Understood. And let me ask you something. You represent University of Minnesota. You got so many members of that university cheering you on. How important is it for you to put on a good show and, shine more light on that school?
It's so important to be a part of the University of Minnesota. They've changed my lives, and hopefully I've changed many people in that school lives also. Like I said, my main job is to focus on the team that I have now with Greg, Brandon, John Jones, and so many other guys that are here to the left of me. But I'm always looking at home and trying to put on for the city.
Gable, you mentioned you're here now where you're supposed to be, but you did have those kind of detours. What did you learn from maybe those experiences that you might be able to take going forward?
I think just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself wholeheartedly. Believe in anything that you could possibly do. There's so many things in this world that you can accomplish and that you can achieve, and just be the man that could possibly, man or woman, that can possibly achieve that goal. And I've always believed in myself to the highest of the high, and that's why I'm here now.
I know you said you're focused on this fight, that's it. But do you have a timeline in your mind of when you want to get certain things accomplished in the UFC?
Yes, I do. I would love to focus on Saturday, as we already talked about. But time's gonna move fast, where something's gonna come up next, and something's gonna come up next after that. But just be grateful for the moments and live in the moments, because when that time does come, it's gonna come fast.
And the last one from me, I know the question was asked earlier. You're one of the biggest favorites in UFC history. You are officially the biggest favorite in UFC history now. I guess do you kind of take that as respect, or is it almost you do have almost everything to lose and nothing to gain almost from everybody expecting you to win the fight?
Oh, I have everything to gain from this fight. I know what's going to happen. I've seen it in my eyes so many times. I've seen it in my thoughts. I've talked about it with the coaches. I've prepared for this moment for many, many months now. And I know what's going to happen Saturday. And if I know what's going to happen, it's going to be a great victory for us.
Yep. Gable right here. You spoke very glowingly of your time working with the WWE. Just wondering, what did you take specifically from everything that they taught you that you think carries over to this other part that is a sport, but there is an entertainment aspect too?
Yeah, there's always an entertainment aspect to everything, but this is a competitive sport that I'm so happy to be a part of. I'm so happy to be in entertainment business also. But just it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be in WWE also. It's always love with them. But I'm happy to move forward with my life.
Cutting promos isn't for everybody, but not everyone gets the experience of obviously working in a place that, probably encourages the development of that. Have you thought about how much you would want to get on the mic if that opportunity presents itself?
The mic doesn't matter. The mic makes money, but I think also big performances, big knockouts, big wins make money also, and that's what I plan on doing. If I can grab the mic and do that also, it's a double whammy then.
Thank you.
Gable,
there's been this want for the next big American wrestler to come in and win UFC gold. Everyone thought Bo Nickal would be that guy, but it's taken a little bit slower. Are you going to be that guy to bring back American wrestling to the UFC?
Of course I'm going to be that guy, and I think Bo Nickal has a great chance to be that guy also. You know, like I said, hiccups happen. I think Bo's still on a great fast track to be that person, but of course I will be.
Gable, back here. Obviously, you know, John is someone who you work with a lot, and I'm sure you train with John Jones. When you look at the division, obviously you've been around him and you've been in the gym with him, worked with him since that Stipe fight. Do you still think he's the best heavyweight in the world?
Of course, by far.
Obviously, aside from yourself, maybe, right?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people believe that. And if you don't believe it, you should watch all the tape on John Jones.
When it comes to his involvement, you look at it in sport. A lot of the time, the great players, the great athletes, don't necessarily make that crossover into coaching and being a great coach. Do you believe it's possible that he could be as good of a coach as he was as a fighter?
Yeah, I think he's so knowledgeable in this sport. He's a full-time mixed martial artist, and that's what he's kind of engraved into me. You know, like I said, it's an honor to be a part of John Jones. It's an honor to be a part of the team that he had also, because he handed his team off to me, and it's just greatness is just waiting to happen.
Yesterday, Conor McGregor is in the main event. He said that somehow he would find a way to beat John if they were to fight. What's your response to that assumption from Conor?
I think Conor's a great talker and a great salesman, but that would never happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.